All right, so we are good to go. Okay, so the first point which we wanted to make this evening is we need to plan, focus, and execute, right? Now, the point which I want to make with the planning is, if your planning is not correct, so first point is make the plan. Now, we have got 110 days. Let's put that in mind. We've got 110 days and we need to divide it into syllabus. How many topics we have got? Anybody? Have you ever counted in your syllabus how many topics we have got? Around 13 units, correct. Now, units are 13, but how many topics are there? I'm asking about the topics. Uncountable, okay. Manisha says it is uncountable. Others, do you think the same? Okay, in the meanwhile, guys, we have touched 96 attendees. We've got 96 students on board right now. That's a good number. Okay, so we've got around 150 topics. Okay, if you actually look at the syllabus, you've got around 150 topics, right? So now how do we plan to, how should we plan, right? How exactly we should go ahead and plan across for the syllabus. So let's reach out to Dr. Sagrika, who is herself a CSIR net qualified with a PhD from IIT Guwahati. Sagrika, if you could tell us how exactly we should plan. How exactly we should plan.
Can you able to hear me, everyone? I'll just begin with the first slide. So planning is important to first start the procedure for the preparation, right? So before you do any work, you have to first plan or chalk out the points that you should focus on. Then ultimately you have to prepare for the execution, right? So once, if you are failing to plan, then you're losing your focus, right? So in order to be focused, because you have a lot of things to memorize or remember or cover in the entire syllabus to reach to a certain point, so you cannot just touch each and everything. So you have to be very much focused, and that can be only achieved through planning. Okay, so after you chalk out your plans, you have to then execute them. So that is how you're going to attain your success. So this is a very important factor to be remembered by all, that we have to go each step through a proper planning. Okay.
All right. Thanks a lot, Dr. Sagrika. I hope you people got some idea. Now, coming back to our presentation, if we see we have to plan properly, so what we have to do is we have to first check it out, right? We have to check which is important topic, which is not so important, right? Now, how do you judge that? How do you reach that particular thing? If I say there are 13 units, now which unit I should skip, which unit I should not skip, right? So I would suggest you make a priority list, all right? So make 2 columns. One is units you know, another is unit you are not so good at, okay, and third column can be units which you don't want to touch, you know. So that let's have a personal preference, right? So suppose out of 13 units, 5 units you are well aware because you did suppose MSc biochemistry, all right. Now remaining 8 you are not so aware of. Now that is where you can actually look at the second priority, which is you know it but not so well. All right. So now that not so well thing comes into picture, and the third will be, say, you don't want to touch botany, let's leave it. Right. But when you have met that priority, there should be some mentor or somebody who will tell you, even though your priority is this, which unit actually you should be covering first, and which unit you should be practicing more questions. Right. And that is where BioTecNika comes into the picture, or for that matter, anybody who has cleared CSIR net will be able to tell you, or rather if you just look at the question paper also, you'll get an idea of exactly how you should be going ahead, right? So there are very brilliant quotations put over on the screen right now. If you do not plan properly, then actually you are planning to fail, right? And if you don't have a goal, then you are just, it's a wish, right? So there is a difference between wishing for CSIR net examination, and there's altogether a different thing to know about, okay, I want to clear this examination. Okay, so if you want to clear this examination, you need to have that goal in mind, and you need to imbibe it in your blood, brain, everywhere. Okay, these 6 months, or say 4 months, or these 100 days are going to be the most crucial days of your life. Forget the pani puri, forget the weather outside, forget the cricket match which is going on, forget everything, whether it is IPL, BPL, CPL, doesn't matter. What matters is your achievement, because tomorrow if you are successful, then only people are going to recognize you, acknowledge you, all right? And that success can only come if you write your CSIR net examination properly. Those 3 hours are going to be crucial, but for that, this planning is very, very important. Now comes the concentration. The power of concentration is the only key to treasure house of knowledge, right? So if you're not focused, if you're not concentrating on your particular this scenario, then you will towards the end of the syllabus or towards the end of the tenure, you will just panic. I'll tell you a very nice example which actually happens in most of the cases. What we have seen is, now right now this is end of August, right? September you will prepare. Now by the time you reach 22nd September to 5th of October, you'll get Dussehra holidays, or in a coaching institute, or in BioTecNika, or maybe if you're preparing also, you'll have some celebration at home, right? In that case, you'll stop studying, right? In that case, you will think that, okay, let's relax for 10 days, okay? Now those 10 days, if you minus, then how many days you are left out with? It's a big chunk, right? 10 days, it's 10% of your entire preparation plan, right? So you just leave that part, and then you actually panic by the time you cross Dussehra. You are facing not just Diwali, you have your CSIR exam next, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, please. Am I wrong or right? Exactly. So right now, this is the time to understand that, okay, we are going to, or rather we are going to face a doomsday. The moment we have got this particular situation, we should not panic. Rather, we should just focus. Okay, let me not go for the Dussehra holidays this year. How does it matter? Let me just focus, right? So this is not just about the Dussehra holidays, just I was giving you an example. Now coming back to the second point, okay, let's go to the second point, is the time management, right? So first what we have done is we have done the planning. So what I did is I have divided the syllabus into 3 columns. First column, the topics or units which I am good at. Second column, which I am not so good at, but still I can attend questions to. The third, which I am not at all good, right? Now take that page or those 3 columns to your teacher. If you are a BioTecNika's student, come to us, just show us, and we'll tell you, okay, out of the lesser priority also you must attend these units, right? So that way you have a idea you're going wrong or right. Okay, so this is how it works. So now let's come back to time management. So let us check out if we have Dr. Tithi. Are you available? Dr. Tithi, if you could just share us how exactly we should manage the time for this particular examination, or say preparation. How should we manage the time?
Good evening, all of you. Am I audible to everybody? Okay. Yeah. So yes. So time management is one of the crucial thing while preparing for any sort of exams. So what I'll suggest that you divide your entire, first you chalk out how many hours you are going to spend for studying alone. So in 24 hours, if we take out even 9 hours of sleep, more than that you should not do. Other than that, like whatever time you are left to it, you should divide the time according to the subjects. So if you are giving all 13 hours of studies in only one subject, definitely by end of the day, you will be too much filled with that subject and you will get bored. So what I suggest is study 2 or at least 3 subjects in a day. So make a timetable, and out of those 13 or 15 hours that you are thinking that you will be you will be utilizing for studying, so divide it into hours and study 2 to 3 subjects. Okay, so that you won't be too much full with any subject, and simultaneously you will be covering 3 topics at a time. So yes, so that way even in BioTecNika also we do like this. Every day we'll conduct class for two subjects. We don't continue the classes for one topic for 3 hours. We'll continue for 1.5 hour one topic, 1.5 hour to another topic. So that way it will give you a good break also from a topic, and that will help efficiently.
All right, thanks a lot, Dr. Tithi. Now, this brings to the essential crux of the matter. I have a question right now from Ghazala, and she asks how many hours we should dedicate for studying, right? Now, there is no top limit, but everybody gets 24 hours. Am I right, Ghazala? Everybody gets 24 hours. Now, how do we manage it? Makes us successful or doesn't make us successful? Now, let us talk about the management of time. So, before we start the preparation, you need to actually analyze what is important, what is not. Fair enough. Now, what is our schedule? Let's give you an example. All right. I suppose I'm a student, right? I wake up every day 6 o'clock in the morning. Agreed. Now, if I'm a person who wakes up early, then I'm giving you this schedule. If in case I am waking up late, then I'll give you another schedule. All right. So say morning I wake up at 6 o'clock, right? So let's start my preparation. I'll freshen up, start my preparation from 7 o'clock. Okay. Let's have a slot from 7 to 11. In the middle, let's take the breakfast on the table where I'm studying. Doesn't matter. Okay. Now, by the time I'm done at 11, okay, fine. Let's now take out the focus. Now, do not study for continuous 4 hours. Just 45-minute slot, then take a break of 5 minutes. That helps you actually refocus back. So let's study from 7 to 11. Then after that, let's give a break. Okay. Then 11 to 1 o'clock, we can just relax. We can take our lunch or whatever, and we can take bath. And after that, from maybe 1 o'clock or 1:30, we can again restart our preparation. I know a lot of people feel sleepy that time, but if you want to crack this exam, you need to, forget about sleep. You need to forget about food. You need to actually focus only on the right calories, which should be going into the books. All right, it's just a conversion. Okay, you're going to convert your calories into your success. Now, how do you do that? You have to utilize your time with your brain. All right. So let's come back to the situation here. So by the time we are now, let's study from 1:30, 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Then let's give it a break again till 7 o'clock, and maybe again from 7 to 11 I can study, and 11 o'clock I can go to sleep. Right. Now this is one schedule. Another schedule you can actually chalk out is, now suppose you are a person who wakes up late, then you can actually extend it to whole night. I'm sure a lot of people study whole night. That also is fine, but you need to take at least 6 hours of sleep properly. Otherwise, there's no point. You will fall sick. Okay. Now, second most important thing is there are some professionals who are working. I can see some questions popping up. They say that we are working. Correct. Now, if we are working, so how do we plan it out, right? In that case, you get whatever hours. Suppose you are traveling. In that case, you have got the MCQs you can solve, or the flashcards you can just create, and while traveling you can just read them, or you can just create notes that will help you. Okay. Now, Okay, I have got a question from Pavitra. I have joined for my PhD. I come home only at 7. How to plan in this case? Now, Pavitra, if you are supposed coming at 7 o'clock in the evening. Now, what happens is we are not talking about you studying 12 or 15 hours a day. We are talking about quality time spent with the standard books and the videos which BioTecNika is providing. Right? So those things is very, very important. Okay, if you are returning back at 7, you take rest, you take your dinner, and then just spend 4 hours a day. That also should be sufficient. In that case, you have to just study the important topics. Okay, you'll have to skip the not so important topics. And people who are working, it is highly recommended to take some kind of mentorship or guidance. Otherwise, it's just planning to fail. Okay. Now, Samrin, I'll come back to your question again, because it is about how to recall back what we have memorized. Okay. And topics also, Pragati, I'll come back. I'll just pass on, when I pass on the mic to Dr. Sagarika and Dr. Tithi, they will be guiding you in this regard. Okay. So, let's, in the meanwhile, proceed forward. I think we have talked enough about time management. Now, next comes emphasize on your strong points, right? Now, I'll pass on the mic to my colleague. I'll just check if she is over there. Dr. Neha, if you are available, can you please respond? Okay, probably she is not available. In the meanwhile, let me pass on to Dr. Sagarika. Can you please talk about emphasizing on the strong points and what will be the important points in the CSIR syllabus on which we should emphasize and from where the most of the important questions are asked? Over to you, Dr. Sagarika.
Okay, so I'll talk about this.
Dr. Sagarika, can you hear us?
So I'd like to talk about emphasizing. Okay. So emphasizing on your strong points. So each one will be having different levels actually. If same persons might not be having the same level of strong or weaker points. Okay. So it is quite evident that you have to decide on yourself what is your strong point or your weak point. So don't panic in case you are having a lot of weak points, because you can also cope up such kind of weak points by emphasizing more on them. That means you have to spend more time on where you are lagging behind, right? So just focus on those points and it will be helpful to you. At the same time, you should not try to be too much overconfident about your strong points. Just go parallel with them. Just you have to spend more time on the topics where you are not comfortable with. So try to take help in those topics and try. Okay.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Sagarika. In the meanwhile, let's check out with Dr. Neha if she's available. Dr. Neha, if you could quickly add on to what emphasis Dr. Sagarika has put in.
Good evening, everybody. It's so nice to be a part of the panel. Yes, certainly I would like to throw some light. Basically, the weak or the strong point, yes, it depends upon the student, the course which he or she has taken, and that's truly said by Sagarika. And now, I would also like to tell the students that none of the points are weak points, I consider, and none of the points are strong points. It's just how you feel it. If you are feeling that the glass is half empty, it will be half empty. If the glass is half full, yes, the glass is half full. Now, coming to the exact point, whatever portions you feel comfortable, you consider them as your strong points and do not leave them. I'll repeat that, do not leave them, because what happens usually that certain portions we feel that we are strong in that and we just leave it, and at the end it just becomes a weak point for us. Right, so just master yourself, just go through the topic, go through the stuff and understand, try and understand it very well, and then in the meanwhile always keep your eyes open, keep yourself open to accept whatever new is coming up, whatever extra information is coming up and how the examination is going on, right? Which all portions are being taken up by the paper. Now if you look at the paper, at the end of the day, yes, you have to write the paper, and if you look at it, there are some hotspots which we have to consider, like the basic biochemistry or molecular biology. I mean, these are something, yes, you need to be very much aware of. And if you haven't gone through, I would suggest that kindly go through these topics. That will certainly boost your confidence, and at the end of the examination, when you are sitting over there, it's nothing but a kind of mind game. So basically, if you are prepared properly and if you're sitting there, 100%, all the weak points will get converted into your strong points, and after 3 hours you will feel victorious in your mind, soul and heart.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Neha, for your kind advice to the students. Now in the meanwhile, we have a very important nice comment from Paras Kundalia. He says that he never knew the concept of pH until he attended Dr. Neha's lecture. Thanks a lot, Paras, for your testimonial. Now, coming back to the, and Paras qualified CSIR net as well. Okay, you were a ex-student. Okay, thanks a lot, Paras, for your, okay, All India rank 36. Thank you. Congratulations for your rank. Where are you put up, Paras? Which lab you are working in now? Okay, so in the meanwhile, you are working at UDCT. All right. Congratulations, Paras. So coming back to the presentation we were talking about, and we have got now develop an attitude to crave for more, right? So now if you look at, you need to have a multi-directional approach. Okay. Now you need to cultivate a nature to assimilate and acquire more knowledge. You need to have that so you need to sniff the information like how a dog does, right? You need to actually check out on websites everywhere so that it will help you, grow, understand faster and stay up to date, right? So what I'll do is I'll pass on the mic now to Dr. Tithi, and she will tell us about how we should carve an attitude towards learning more. Tithi, would you like to add on something on this?
Yeah, everybody. Yes, so this is like, it's not like that you have to look for or you have to do a lot of research to imbibe the new things or new researches that are going on. You can simply do that by reading the newspaper. I guess all of you, if you are not in a habit of reading the newspaper, just put on the habit of doing that. Even like a standard newspaper, if you're talking of, it's Times of India. So there also, like, they have got a page dedicated to the scientific researches. This is Times Trends, they call it. So there every day they will put up some or the other research article every day which is being done new. Like for yesterday's paper only, there was the scientists, they are able to grow the thymus in organ in mouse, right, using the cells, using the lab cultivated cells only. So this is something very new, very innovative. Okay, so and one more thing is, whenever you are studying, don't just treat the topics as individual topics. No, they are all linked somewhere. So So try to connect them, because in CSIR they will not ask you a single question. Okay, especially that part 3 questions, there will be more of analytical type. So that will be a mix of more than one topic altogether. Okay, so if you are focusing on single one and you are not able to connect it, so that will be very difficult for you to solve those type of questions. For example, there can be genetics, there can be RDT, there can be cell functioning related. So all these 3 units, or whatever knowledge you have got, you have to compile, you have to analyze the question in that way and then get the answer. So try to connect the things. Don't just read it only topic wise, that I have done unit 2, okay, now it's over, so with unit 3 there is no connection. No, the units are interrelated, because these are only the topics which are like, these are majorly the processes that are going on in the biology. Okay, so they should analyze that and try to connect with each other.
Thank you, Dr. Tithi. Thank you, Dr. Tithi.
Students, can you hear me? Thanks a lot, Dr. Tithi, for your inputs. So, okay, now it is clear, Rajeshri? The audio is clear now? Okay. So, now, coming back to our proceedings of the day. Now we have to develop an attitude, and as suggested, we need to actually know what is called as research, what's going on recently, because this will not just help you in your CSIR net examination, but also after that when you are actually going for interviews for PhD. Coming to the next point, which Dr. Sagarika would like to emphasize, I believe, fragmentize the topics on priority. And I think in the beginning of the webinar also, I told you about this, that you have to assign the levels of difficulty, and it helps in your time management also, which was the second point of the day we had emphasized. So now what happens is you have to assign a level of difficulty. Now initially I told you the level of priority, that what you know and what you don't know. So that was a level of priority. Now this is level of difficulty. Now here you need the help of experts, and I would like to invite Dr. Sagarika. She will tell us what are the important topics and how should we fragmentize. So let's pass on the mic to Dr. Sagarika. Sagarika.
Yes, I'd like to talk on this topic about fragmentizing your subjects based on the priority basis. That is only individual priority, right? So it will vary from person to person. So it's better for each individual to know where the person is strong or weak at. So it is very easy. If you have a depth of knowledge of a certain topic, then you will be easily understanding, then you are sure that you will be able to attempt in that respect. So now the difficulty level increases gradually. So we all are aware of simple concepts, but when we are going deep into the matter or the subject, like going to the analytical part, there we are not able to analyze the topic. Simply when we know the simple concepts, we should develop the attitude of analyzing. So you have to keep your mind active in that case. So suppose you know where you are lacking behind, so don't panic, just try to focus on that topic, and you have to dedicate more. The thing is that when you go for practicing the particular area where you are not comfortable with, gradually and slowly when you go on learning about the same thing again and again, so it will again shift to the lower difficulty level. So you will be comfortable in handling such kind of questions. Now what happens is some students will feel about problematic areas regarding the aptitude problems or the numerical problems. See, if you are engaged about what is happening around you in terms of research field, then you will know what are the upcoming high throughput technologies. Okay, so when we are going for referring the books, they will be limited regarding to their edition. So with time, there is increase in the knowledge of the particular subject. So we have to be actively involved in gaining those knowledge or the subjects where the subject is heading forward. Okay, so what are the new topics that are emerging? So there is where we have to invest our time. So just analyzing the subject and then applying it will help you decide what is the difficult area for you. Now if you are not able to analyze, then you need expert help. So if somebody is able to explain you properly, then the same thing which you are finding it difficult, that will be ultimately easy for you to understand. So that is where you need help and expert advice.
Thank you, Dr. Sagarika. I'm sure Dr. Neha would love to add on this. Dr. Neha, would you like to give us some tips and tricks on how exactly we should go ahead and prioritize the syllabus?
Thank you, Shekhar sir, for the opportunity. Yes, certainly I would like to inform these students about the fragmentation of the topic. Now, fragmentation is something, yes, it is very much required because a methodical study actually leads you to a kind of, it gives you a kind of result, right? And that is where the fragmentation is very much necessary. Now, if you look at the entire syllabus, I'm just talking straight point, looking at the syllabus. Now, if you look at the syllabus, the initial portions like Unit 1, 2, 3, 4, they actually belong, and 5, they actually belong to the core biology, or you can say the core basics, right? So you need to put these topics on priority. You need to learn all these topics. You shouldn't leave anything out of these topics, because if you do not understand these topics, then certainly you will not be able to understand the interdisciplinary subjects or the topics like RDT, or you can say, or the I mean the other kind of informations which are there related with the RDT and all. So until unless you do not understand it, so there is a saying which goes something like that, that try to like all those things that are necessary. So when you are putting something on priority, always make sure that you keep these units, unit 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 on priority, that you have to go through, you have to understand it, then only you will be in a position to clear the examination, or you'll go with a clear mindset that you will be able to write this in the examination. Right, so I feel this is what should be the basis of your priority. Now after that, once you are done with your basic information, then you can go ahead with the kind of topics which are usually asked in examination, and not only in the examination but in interviews also, and that includes more of your RDT portion, the applied portion, and that is where, but for some students who have got a master's in zoology and botany, they are very good with your core biology concepts, that includes your ecology, your evolution, and then plant system physiology, plants and animals. They can consider these topics also, and in that way their chances of getting a good score or a good rank will be more. So you can prioritize based on what is your gut instinct, what is your strong point, I mean the topics or the portions which you have gone through previously, and the new information which is important looking from the exam point of view. So if you are able to implement these 3 things together, 100% you will be able to get what you are aspiring for. Hope I am very much clear.
Thank you, Dr. Neha, for your kind words and timely advice to the students. Now, let's do a mid-webinar survey. Are you guys able to understand the points which our experts are making today? Are you able to understand, and is it adding value to your preparation? Okay, very good. So herein, let's talk about the study style. Everybody has got a unique style, and at BioTecNika we are here to add more stuff to your preparation. I'm sure there are a lot many people who are already enrolled with us. There are some people who are in process. Now, our aim is to ensure that everybody who plans to prepare should clear the examination with success and with high rank. And that's where we have designed the syllabus, or rather we have divided the syllabus in such a way and made study material and stuff which will be helpful. Now, the point which I want to make, along with your study style, one thing which every student in our country today misses is constant faculty, or rather I would say mentor support. Now, suppose you are in some town or city of India and there is no good teacher available, and if you have got a query, or rather I would say even if you are in a good city, if you have a query, you don't have that access that immediately you go and talk to that person, because maybe that person is available or not. And that is what is most important here. You need to have a access to the right experts at the right time. Otherwise, you might forget to ask that doubt, and maybe that it actually comes in exam and you come out regretting that, what if I had asked this question, I could have cleared. So whatever might be your study style, you are a nocturnal or a person who studies the whole day, or a person who is working and studies only 4 hours a day. On one hand, you need to have dedication. On the other hand, you need to manage the time. You need to prioritize the syllabus. Plus, you need the right kind of study material, as well as you need to have the right kind of guidance. Now, it can be from anywhere. It can be from BioTecNika. It can be any standard book, whatever you're comfortable with. But the point which I want to make is, you need to have constant access to a mentor who will tell you what is wrong, what is right. Because what if you inculcate the wrong habit, or rather the wrong concept, and that actually leads you to a disaster, right? A disaster always happens, they say, is when there is a series of mistakes, right? So why to commit a mistake and head towards a disaster? Let's not do that. So you need to identify whether it is BioTecnika or any other institution, or if you have someone who is your guide, please be in touch with them more, okay? So this is how it works out. Now coming back to my presentation, we have got some more points to add, and the 7th point of the day would be stay up to date, and that's where it comes: Google Scholar, study the books, online resources. Now one more trick I will tell you, most of you, if you are a computer geek, you must be knowing, if you go in Google and type something like latest research in biotech, a list will come, right? Now there will be search tools in that you can actually filter out in past 24 hours. Okay, so that way actually you can go and check out what latest things has happened in past 24 hours in research, and then you can go ahead and read them. That will help you stay updated. Okay, and remember, you need to, knowledge never harms. It always saves you from any kind of embarrassment. Okay, so you need to keep yourself up to date. And let me come back now to some queries which are popping up in chat here. Santosh is asking, can we give a demo? Santosh, this webinar itself is a demo. If in case you would like to see a demo of our classroom teaching, you can check our website. We have put up n number of videos over there. Now, Surabhi has got a question on what topic should I concern more? Okay, Mallika, my audio is not clear. Please confirm. Others, is my audio clear? Other students, it's clear. Okay, might be Mallika, there is a problem with your internet connection. Okay, let me come back. Not to worry, we have the video recording also going on. If in case I'm able to record it properly, I'll be putting it online so that you can refer. Rohan, you can contact us in chat later on if you want the study material from us. Now, coming back to the point which I was making, you need to have an analytical approach, and I would like to invite Dr. Neha to discuss this slide which is right now on our screens, and she can add up and give us more insights with her experience and ideas with the past 10-15 years of experience what she brings on the table with her in the teaching industry. Dr. Neha, over to you.
Thank you for providing the opportunity. Yes, analytical skill nowadays, yes, it is very much important, not only to clear the examination, but rather to clear the interviews also, right? And yes, one way of having a kind of analytical approach is having a good kind of knowledge database. Now, how exactly that knowledge database can be built? A knowledge database can be built by what you say, if you have a sound knowledge about the subject, or a sound information about the subject, maybe you are a book reader, voracious book reader, and you keep on reading a lot of stuff, or if you were able to understand and learn when it was being taught in the class, And if at all you have missed all those things when you are doing your master's or maybe bachelor's or BTech, no worries over there. Right now also you can get started. Now the first thing in this is, as the PPT is depicting, that you have to be very much inquisitive. By that what I mean to say, that you have, when somebody says that it is like this, you have to go a little bit beyond and understand why it is like this, why it is not like the other thing. And that way you will actually start inquiring about, and that increases the knowledge database. So basically that is much more important, students, in this point of at this particular point, that you have to be very much inquisitive. You have to have that kind of hunger inside, or a drive inside, which actually puts you or motivates you to learn more. In spite of thinking about the examination, do not think about the examination, just to go beyond it and just try and learn more, try and inquire about it more, start questioning science, which is, as sometimes back our Shekhar sir only told us, that start interacting with the science, and yes, your knowledge database will increase. And that is what I would like to put up over here. And then the second point is be competitive. Yes, exactly. This is a competitive examination, and when you are aspiring for something, you need to have that kind of skill in you. So never say die attitude. You shouldn't lose hope. You shouldn't frustrate. And as I told in the beginning also, never see the glass is half empty. Always look at the glass that it is half full. That means that in between, if you get demotivated at times by just thinking, oh, the syllabus is too vast, a lot of information is there, and then do I have to learn everything, or what exactly I have to do? So that all these things, they are just a kind of negative factor, and it just distracts away from your what you say, it just breaks your focus, right? So in order to keep your focus into the right direction, what you have to be very much competitive. Now first you have to compete with the, if you are into a kind of classroom, if you are a classroom student, you have to compete with your friends, I mean whosoever is sitting over there. If you are not a classroom student, you're just preparing on your own, then you need to think that how many students they have applied for the form, and you have to compete with them. And apart from that, the new people will be coming up, and you are not only competing for just to get a good score or just to go into the research, rather you are competing for something which will give research a kind of direction. So always be very much competitive, and it comes from the heart. Okay, it comes from the heart. And then yes, exercising your mind, that is very much important. Why? Because what happens usually, I have seen a lot of students who are very much knowledgeable, they know a lot of things, but because of their laziness or because of something or the other kind of reason, they do not exercise their mind, or they just feel that they know more, and that is where they go wrong, right? So if somebody is very much good also into academics and they are not exercising their mind, they are putting themselves on a kind of, what you say, kind of on the verge of extinction. I mean, if you look at the competitive world right now, so they will be extinct. So you have to keep on exercising your mind. Now, how exactly you can exercise your mind? By thinking innovatively, right? Thinking innovatively, trying to figure out some questions on your own, using internet as the skill, using mentors' help, whichever. I mean, if it is if you are a BioTecNika's student, you can take help of your mentors. We have got mentor student, list also, so you can just talk to your mentor and get the things clarified or the doubts clarified. If you want to speak to me, you can come back, or you Shekhar sir or somebody, whosoever is nearby, your peers, your father, your mother, whosoever is there, just go and talk to them, get your things clarified, and then keep on exercising by solving something new, or not only the studies, but apart from that, you can start solving Sudoku also. I used to do that sometimes back. So keep on exercising your mind, and that way it just rejuvenates your mind, and you'll never feel frustrated. The staleness will not be there, and you'll always be ready to accept whatever is coming new. So this will help you in developing an analytical skill, and this analytical skill will certainly lead you to actually a better position in society.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Neha, for your kind words. Now, coming back to the point, I am just 10 minutes away from ending the webinar and I've got 2 important points to make. So let me quickly focus back to the PPT now. I hope all of you can hear me and see me as well. All right. So we have to have this approach during the test, right? Now, those 3 hours when you are writing the examination, it's going to be very, very important. Now, what can lead to a disaster is, first thing, if you're overconfident about anything, don't think that you are the Khuda of everything, you know everything and you can solve it correctly. Rather, always have a critical point of view towards your own answers and cross-check whether it is correct or not. Because remember, there is a big boss setting which is going to deduct marks 1/4 if you do a negative, if you mark it wrong, right? So what's the point in losing marks? We are here to gain more marks, right? So what I'll do is now I'll pass on the mic to Dr. Sagarika and she'll be able to give us some insights on what should be our approach during the test. So Dr. Sagarika, over to you. Could you please add on what should be our approach when we are writing the examination, or for that matter any practice tests also? Can you please throw some light on this?
Okay. So I'll tell something about the approach. What is the correct approach before you enter the test or during the test? Okay. If you have prepared correctly for the test, then you will be confident, right? When you enter the test, you will be confident. But sometimes when you see the question paper, all the confidence gets shattered. Sometimes if you are getting panic, so that will affect the test also. So your preparation will be affected. So it is always advisable to stay cool when you are going or appearing for the test. Before the test, just calm yourself, and during the test, just before, when you are provided with the question paper, just try to scan the question paper. Don't get panicked if you have seen a lot of questions that you are not able to recall suddenly. With time, you will be able to recall them. Okay. So you know that there are 3 sections in CSIR exam. The first section will be your related to mathematical part. Okay. The second, or the B section, that will be related to the subject. So because the CSIR is providing you with a broad range of questions, right? So from there you have to choose questions which you were careful, or you know have to answer 25 questions. Just don't panic that you are not able to answer all 25 questions from section B, say. Okay. So the order how you appear in the test, how you attend the questions, that is also going to decide for the marks that you will be getting, or about your mind structure at that particular time. How I explain? You know that it will be having 3 sections. The last section is your analytical section. Okay, that carries B. So it is always advisable when you just enter the test, your mind is free, calm. That time you try to first start with that section from where you are going to get the maximum number of marks. So it is always advisable to exercise your mind from the beginning of the section, that is part C. Okay, so just go on attempting the questions and keep the time limit for yourself. So divide the time limit for all the 3 sections. You can give more section or more time to the section C and B. Then when you have confidently attempted all the questions, then you go for section A. Okay, so in that way you will be getting more time for analyzing. Do guessing work. When we are appearing for multiple choice question, that too when it is carrying a negative mark, if you just think that you will be able to guess and you know the answer, but you are not able to recall it confidently, just you will just click on something, so it might work out. So just don't think like that. So guessing work doesn't help. So only attempt those questions where you are confident about. In that way you will be securing your positive marks and you will be saved from the negative marks. Okay, so this procedure you have to follow in the test so that you can confidently score the marks depending on your ability only. Just don't go for any kind of guesswork.
Thank you, Dr. Sagarika, for your advice. Now, coming back to one very important question which we got from Rajeshri Ghosh, and question is, which part should I attempt first during the examination, part A, B, or C? Now, Rajeshri, it totally depends on your personal choice. If I say you should attempt part A and not part C, you can have a logic why not part C, right? And so I would give you options. Now, suppose if you're very good in part A and you can solve all the questions within 15 minutes time, go for part A, so that you are clear, okay, these many marks are secured. Now, if you're someone who is scared that, at the end you may not get time, in that case, go for part C so that you can secure more marks. Okay. Now, I've always told my students here, whenever I teach part A, I've told that part A is actually the insurance for part B and C, so that if in case you do mistakes in part B and C, part A actually helps you, get good rank. But that is only when you are really good in part A. Okay. So it all depends on you. If you're good in part C, or rather if you're scared of the time factor, go for part C. If you are very good in part A questions, go for part A first. It's all your choice. Now, coming back to the question which Anshul asked, should we start solving problems from now or after covering the syllabus? Now, Anshul, now solving question, it itself is the part and parcel of preparation. Okay. If you are solving at the end, maybe you will forget the topic, or maybe you will not be able to emphasize. Okay. So my point here would be, while you are solving the the lesson or the topic, the theory part, while you are studying, you please go ahead and solve the questions. Do not keep it till the end. Practice makes a man perfect, and same is applicable to all the women as well over there, right? So go ahead, practice more. Okay. Now I'm getting a lot of questions, and there are 99 of you, so it's going to be really difficult for me to actually answer all of you individually. What we can do is you can mail across back to us. Okay, you all have my email ID. You can mail across, and then we can actually reply back to your email. Now let me go and quickly finish this webinar with the 10th point which we have got on the table: work hard and be a winner. Now, everybody has told you right from day one, right from the day you got into your pre-nursery classes, that you have to work hard, right? And that's the only key to success. There's nothing new which we're telling you. You have to believe in yourself, stay confident, and success comes to those who desire and work hard with sincerity. Yes, we are going to repeat the same thing, but again, what matters here is the more you work hard and more you practice important questions, and the better your mentor support is, you are going to sure shot clear the examination. With this, I'm not saying that whatever guidance you are taking from your existing peers are bad or good. Rather, I would like to emphasize is you need to have constant touch with them, and always look into this thing that you are reading the right books, you are under right guidance, otherwise you are just planning to fail. Alright, now if in case you are not a part of BioTecNika's student community, you are someone who is just attending this webinar, for your information, if you want to become our student, you have one last chance. We are starting a batch called as capsule batch for 110 days, which will be starting from 5th of September, which is Teachers Day incidentally. If you want, you can join that. You can contact us in chat, and we'll love to help you out in clearing your CSIR. Okay. Now, Nidhi, the webinar I have recorded, but if in case it doesn't come out properly, I will not be putting it for public display. Okay. Now, the email ID, Samreen, would be info@biotechnica.org. I will write it across to all of you right now so that you can note it down. Okay. Now, instead of emailing us, you can also contact us in chat. Okay. If you have doubts during your preparation, if you are a BioTecNika's student, you have access to the mentorship. You have a dedicated mentor whom you can be in touch. I'm sure a lot of BioTecNika's students are already attending, I can see. And the ex-BioTecNika's students who have already cleared the examination are also there. Paras was one of them. So guys, this is the time to gear up. Okay, I've given you the email ID. We are always there. Anshul, yes, study portal, we'll try to upload this video as well so that you can be in touch, but only in case it has come out properly. Okay? And with this, we come to an end of the webinar. Vikashini, if you are not a BioTecNika's student, you can access this video on our NetJRF portal after some time. But if you are a BioTecNika's student, the benefit will be you will be having access to all the videos which we create and all the online classes which we conduct on a daily basis. Okay, Naveen, you missed the first 8 points. I'm so sorry, Naveen. If the recording comes out good, we will certainly share it with you. Pragati, you want my personal email ID? It is the same as from where I have mailed you the link. It is shekhar@biotechnica.org. Okay? I would love to listen into all your comments, feedbacks, and problems, whatever you are facing. Rajeshri, if you want to take up the premium membership, you have to just contact us in chat and we will guide you. Vikashini, if you have some doubts, you can mail only if you are a BioTecNika's student. Okay. Thanks a lot, everybody. It was really amazing to have you on board and on the single platform where we're talking to 100 students at one shot. It was really good. Yes, Rakhi, we have this test series thing. You can just be in touch with Dr. Neha over there. Okay. Now to sum it up, we had Dr. Neha from Delhi NCR Center of BioTecNika, Dr. Sagrika, Dr. Tithi and me talking from the Bangalore Center, and all of you from Pan India. We are here to crack CSIR net with a JRF or a LS for sure this December 21st, whenever and wherever we write, whichever city, does not matter. We will clear. I am sure all of you will. And let's say 3 cheers to our unity and our preparation that this particular goal is going to be achieved. Okay. Rohan, if you want to get us study material, please be in touch in chat on our website. Thanks a lot, Lipsa, Rakhi, Vasumati. I cannot take all the 100 student names, but it was really wonderful to have you on board. Please go ahead, be in touch with us, and if you want to join our capsule batch, that's a 110 days batch. You can be in touch, and we will make sure that the LS or JRF would come right next on your door. Okay. And that's what we have always said, the right guidance today will actually help you succeed tomorrow. Okay. Thanks a lot, everybody. I'll be ending the webinar right away. Please go ahead and contact us on our toll-free number. I forgot to tell you the toll-free number as well, where you can actually dial in. That is 1-800-200-3757. You can dial us here as well. If in case you need any kind of guidance regarding CSIR net or GATE preparation. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you next time as a student of BioTecNika. Thank you.